We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
A 2020 rematch, Marines go to Haiti, aid for Ukraine, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. President Biden and former President Donald Trump won enough delegates to become the presumptive nominees of their parties in the latest round of primary voting on Tuesday, starting the clock on an 8-month general election campaign. This officially sets the stage for a 2020 rematch, a rematch between two elderly candidates that most Americans have said they don't want. While this was widely expected, it does change the narrative slightly as the Democratic Party now cannot replace Biden on the ballot unless he voluntarily steps down. A Marine anti-terrorism unit has now been deployed to protect the American embassy in Haiti, U.S. military officials said, as violent gangs continue to generate unrest in the Caribbean nation's capital. The U.S. Southern Command said in a statement early Wednesday that at the request of the State Department, it deployed a U.S. Marine Fleet anti-terrorism security team to maintain strong security capabilities at the U.S. Embassy in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, and conduct relief in place for our current Marines, a common and routine practice worldwide. The U.S. Embassy remains open and limited operations continue, focused on assistance to U.S. citizens and supporting Haitian-led efforts to secure a peaceful transition of power, it added. Haiti's Prime Minister Ariel Henry said he would step down as the leader of the Caribbean nation once a transitional council selects an interim prime minister. The country has been overrun by armed gangs, which led a mass prison break earlier this month, while Henry was abroad seeking support for a UN-backed security force. The gangs have burned down a police station and breached the port in Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince. The U.S., which is supporting the UN security mission, has urged Americans not to travel to Haiti. Puberty blockers will no longer be prescribed to minors under age 18 in England outside of regulated clinical trials, the country's National Health Service announced on Tuesday, following an earlier review by the agency, the latest development in the controversial treatment that has sparked protests in the U.S. as well over gender-affirming care in children. The decision comes after a review found there was not enough evidence they are safe or effective. Puberty blockers, which pause the physical changes of puberty, will now only be available as part of research. It comes weeks before an independent review into gender identity services in England is due to be published. An interim report from the review, published in 2022 by Dr. Hilary Cass, had earlier found there were gaps in evidence around the drugs and called for a transformation in the model of care for children with gender-related distress. Puberty blockers have been found to have severe side effects and have been linked to cancer. The Biden administration is sending $300 million in weapons to Ukraine. The weapons will be the first new aid from the U.S. to Ukraine since December. Funding for the stopgap package was created thanks to cost savings from Pentagon contracts that came in under bid. U.S. officials said the munitions would only help Ukraine for a short time and won't prevent the country from running out of ammunition as it fends off Russia's invasion. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said the funding was coming from unanticipated cost savings from Pentagon contracts and would be used for artillery rounds and munitions for high-mobility artillery rocket systems. This ammunition will keep Ukraine's guns firing for a period, but only a short period, Sullivan told reporters, adding it may only be helpful to Ukraine for a couple of weeks. It is nowhere near enough to meet Ukraine's battlefield needs, and it will not prevent Ukraine from running out of ammunition, Sullivan said. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of The Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.